Welcome back to the Wisdom to Wealth podcast, where retirees, pre-retirees, and smart savers come to cut through the noise and make confident, lasting decisions about money, legacy, and life. I'm your host, retirement professor Dr. Drew, and today we're diving into one of the most overlooked but one of the most important parts of retirement income strategy, and that is estate planning. Now, before you skip ahead and say, whoa, wait a minute, that's just for the wealthy, or I already have a will, hang tight. Because in this episode, I'm busting out with the 7 most dangerous estate planning myths that could quietly derail your retirement dreams, and sharing actionable tips that you can use today to protect what you've worked a lifetime to build. Here's the truth. Estate planning isn't just about dying, it's about living. It's about protecting your assets while you're still here, avoiding unnecessary taxes, preparing for long-term care, and making sure your loved ones aren't left in legal or financial chaos. Yet, according to Caring.com's 2024 estate planning survey, 2 out of every 3 Americans don't have a will, and only 18% have a full estate plan. Even among baby boomers, the numbers are shocking. More than half have nothing in place. That's a silent crisis. And the courts don't care how well-mentioned you were or well-intentioned you were. If you don't make a plan, the state's going to do it for you. And trust me, you won't like their version. Don't believe me? My son's fiance's father passed away last August. Never put a will together, never had a trust that he put together. She is now fighting for my son's fiance with her brother against a girlfriend that dad lived with over motorcycles, over a home, over real estate. The list goes on. Dumb things to do. Planning is a better part of life. So let's dig deeper into the most dangerous myths that tend to cost families time, money, and heartache every single year. Number 1, I have a will, so I'm good. Hey, don't worry about it. A will is not enough. Here's why. A will doesn't avoid probate, and that's what people don't understand. In Missouri, probate can take between 6 and 18 months and cost 4 to 10% of your estate's value in legal fees, court costs, and administrative expenses. A will is a public record, meaning anyone can access details about your assets and heirs. And a will does nothing if you become incapacitated, because it only activates after death. Myth number 2, estate planning is only for the ultra-wealthy. Totally false. Estate planning isn't about having millions, it's about control. Even middle-income families benefit from trusts that bypass probate, reduce taxes, and protect beneficiaries from creditors or divorce. If your adult inherits your IRA outright, it becomes available to lawsuits or divorcing spouses. A properly structured trust can shield it. That's not a luxury. It's a common sense practice. Myth number 3, joint ownership is going to take care of it. Joint accounts seem easy, but they can create disasters. Let's just say you add a child to your bank account. If they're sued, go through bankruptcy, or get divorced, your money is now exposed. And when you die, the child inherits everything in the joint account, potentially cutting out heirs, causing family strife or legal battles. Myth number 4, I'll do it later. I got stuff going on. That might be the most dangerous thing of all. Illnesses, accidents, and cognitive decline don't wait. AARP reports that 1 in 9 Americans over age 65 has Alzheimer's, and over 35% of Americans will become incapacitated at some point. If you wait too long, you may lose the legal capacity to execute documents, and your family ends up in guardianship costs, which in and of itself is going to cost a lot of money and be very time-consuming. And last but not least, I got to tell you, it's emotionally draining. Myth number 5, my family knows what I want, so they're going to figure it all out. Well, without documentation, even the most loving families tend to clash. I once met a widow whose husband thought everything was just going to work out fine. He passed with no trust, and now the family is $80,000 deep just in probate fees. and 2 siblings haven't spoken to each other in years. According to a TD Wealth survey, 44% of estate planning failures result from family conflict, not taxes or legal loopholes, but emotions and confusion. Myth number 6. Everything goes to my wife automatically. Hey, wait a second. Just like earlier. Wrong. It's not guaranteed. Why? Because in blended families, separate property, or with an outdated beneficiary form, surviving spouses can be accidentally disinherited. Also, most IRAs and retirement accounts pass via beneficiary designation, not your will. If your ex-spouse is still listed from 1998, guess who's getting your 401k? This is a true story. I have a client whose ex-wife received $325,000 in a life insurance payout because the beneficiary form was never updated, even though the will named the current wife. Here's another one for you. Have a gentleman who passed away. He met a woman that he was working with back when he was in his 20s. He never updated his beneficiary form, ever. They were boyfriend and girlfriend. I think they went out for maybe 6 or 7 months. He put it on the beneficiary form. He stayed with the company 40, 50 years. Passed away in his 70s. He had 2 brothers. 2 brothers are suing for the life insurance policy, which details to about $1.8, $1.9 million. They're not entitled to it. And that's simply because of the fact that they keep saying that he has a will, but the beneficiary form, since it wasn't updated, stays with the ex-girlfriend. So a girl that he had not talked to in ages, didn't ever married, is now walking away a multimillionaire. And finally, myth number 7. I set up a plan years ago, so I'm done. Estate planning is not set it and forget it. Tax laws shift. Asset values change. Families evolve. The 2026 sunset of Tax Cuts and Jobs Act may cut the federal state tax exemption in half from $13 million to about $6.8 million per person. That in and of itself, that one change, it could affect more families than expected, especially with real estate and retirement account growth. At a minimum, your plan should be reviewed every 3 to 5 years or when a major event happens like a birth, a death, marriage, divorce, retirement, grandchildren, or a significant asset purchase. Now that I've busted through the myths for you, let's talk about a couple of solutions. And here are some high-impact strategies to take control of your estate before the courts or Congress do it for you. First of all, set up or update your revocable living trust. A revocable living trust lets your family avoid probate, maintain privacy, and transfer assets without court intervention. It can also include incapacity provisions so your wishes are honored if you're unable to make decisions. According to AARP, trusts reduce stress and delays for survivors and avoid the public spectacle of probate, which has become a growing target for elder financial fraud. If you own property in multiple states, a trust avoids multi-state probate, which can be legal and a logistical nightmare. A second thing you can do is review and synchronize your beneficiary designations. Your beneficiary forms override your will or your trust. That means your IRA, your 401k, your annuities, and your insurance policies pass directly to whoever's listed, regardless of what your estate documents say. Check every form and match them to your overall plan, and also consider contingent beneficiaries in case your primary heir predeceases you. Stay alert, because Vanguard reports that 1 in 3 retirement account holders has an outdated or missing beneficiary form. That's like driving without a seatbelt. Something else you can do is you can execute powers of attorney in a healthcare directive. Without a durable power of attorney, your loved ones may need a court order just to access your account or pay your bills. Without a healthcare directive, decisions about your care could actually fall to the wrong person, or it may even cause conflict amongst family members. Remember, these documents aren't for when you die. They're for when you can't speak for yourself. One client I know became incapacitated from a stroke, and the family had to spend $9,000 in legal fees just to gain access to bank accounts because there was no power of attorney in place. And you can also use trust for asset protection and legacy control. If you want to keep assets in the family, protect heirs from creditors, bankruptcy, or divorce, or control how assets are distributed over time, then you need more than just a basic trust. You may benefit from spendthrift trusts for young or financially immature heirs, an IRA trust strategy for tax-efficient transfers, or even a Medicaid asset protection trust if you're concerned about long-term care. The median annual cost of a private room in a nursing home today is now over $116,000. So planning ahead can help you avoid losing your nest egg to medical expenses. You can also communicate your plan with key people. Your estate plan is only as strong as the clarity and communication behind it. There are too many families who get blindsided because no one knows where the documents are, what your wishes were, or who is in control. Have a family meeting, or at least do a sit down with your chosen executor and trustees. Make sure they know the what, the where, and the why behind every decision. Communication is key because legacy isn't just what you leave, it's how you're going to leave it. You want to learn how to put all of this into action, live both live and in person? I'm hosting a free estate planning seminar at St. Louis Community College in Wildwood, Missouri on Tuesday, May 13th at 6:30 p.m. and Thursday, May 15th also at 6 p.m. I'm going to discuss with you how to protect your assets from unnecessary taxes in nursing homes, the difference between a will and a trust, and what's right for you. Many people get those confused. The estate planning mistakes that cost family thousands, and finally, how to legally help your wealth in your family. Spots are limited, and these events tend to fill up very fast. We already have 47 people signed up. So register today by calling 636-537-7851. You want to bring a friend or a spouse? Absolutely. Knowledge like this is better if it's shared. Listen, retirement is about freedom, but there's no freedom if your finances are locked into legal limbo. Estate planning doesn't have to be scary. It's not about fear. It's about freedom, dignity, and legacy. If you got a plan, awesome. Make sure it's current. If you don't, now's the time. And if your advisor hasn't brought it up, well, maybe it's time you just met with me, Dr. Drew. So schedule your retirement resilience review. Go to my website at www.wisdomtowealth.com/contact, or just give me a call, and I'm more than happy to take you through the estate planning journey. If you found this episode helpful, please take a moment to rate and review Wisdom to Wealth on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening to your favorite podcast like Wisdom to Wealth. Every review helps more people like you get the real talk and the real strategy and the real roadmap they deserve. Until next time, I'm Dr. Drew reminding you, wisdom builds wealth, but legacy builds freedom. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you on another episode of Wisdom to Wealth.